What's up everyone, it's Endymion, and today I have a very positive video for you all. Well, I guess positive if you're not a massive corporation or Hollywood actor, that is. I'll be covering a bunch of news stories that prove the common folk are winning the culture war one battle at a time, so let's begin. To start off, I want to speak about Cleopatra and Netflix, which as you already know is a mess for everyone involved. Not only is the show one of the lowest rated audience score wise, it's been dunked on by pretty much everyone from YouTubers to even the government of Egypt. As if all of this wasn't bad enough for Netflix, it's now being reported that Egyptian lawyer Mahmoud Semeri has officially filed a case against the streaming giant for $2 billion in damages. Semeri claims this lawsuit is needed for Netflix to pay for their racist reimagining of Egypt's decorated history. He also said this legal conflict is a reminder of the need to balance artistic freedom and cultural representation. Semeri continues by saying, "The Netflix film titled Cleopatra portrays the ancient Egyptian queen in a historically inaccurate and culturally inappropriate manner. According to the lawyer, the film's depiction of Cleopatra will perpetuate negative stereotypes and harm the cultural heritage of Egypt." By filing the $2 billion lawsuit, the lawyer seeks to hold Netflix accountable for what is perceived as a misrepresentation of an important historical figure. So not only is Netflix at a loss critically with their documentary Misfire, but they might end up losing Avengers-level box office money for letting it happen in the first place. So yeah, this is great news, and it makes me really happy to see common sense win. And I truly hope Egypt's integrity is kept intact and this case does go through and Netflix just loses more money. Next up, I want to ask you a question. Are you having a bad day? Well, if you are, I want you to take peace of mind knowing that Target is probably having a much worse day than you. Recently, Target has been swarmed by the internet for its push of gender clothing. Of course, it's one thing to make this sort of stuff, but the real reason why this backlash is happening is because it's targeting kids. Let's watch the video that started this media tsunami so you can really grasp what's going on in one of America's biggest stores. Here, watch.
Now, and there's a lot of controversy going on about all of the Pride stuff that's coming out with kids' clothes and things like that. So we're gonna go to the kids section and we're actually going to see if they're putting weird, creepy, uncomfy stuff on children's clothing. Okay, this is the child section. This is literally the kids section. I'm next to a literal onesie that says whatever the hell that means. We have "Glad You Came Out" and "I'm so happy that you're queer" in the kids section. Are you kidding me? I'm sorry, but pride and toddler don't belong in the same sentence. So I found an extra small swimsuit in the child section. It says light binding effect on it. And then the bottoms in the kids section, keep in mind, say tuck friendly construction. They're giving it to your kids. If that doesn't give you a reason to boycott Target, I don't know what does. But this shit's getting out of hand. They're targeting children, whether you like it or not, and it's time that people actually do something about it. Because if they don't, then guess what? That shit won't just be in Target, it'll be in every store, ever.
As you can see, Target is yet the latest corporation trying to push woke gender ideology down the throats of people, and the backlash is incredible. Currently, as of the making of this video, Target's shares have dropped 12.6%. which is equal to $9.6 billion in value evaporating over the last week. This backlash has caused Target to officially respond with, and I quote, "For more than a decade, Target has offered an assortment of products aimed at celebrating Pride Month. Since introducing this year's collection, we've experienced threats impacting our team members' sense of safety and well-being while at work. Given these volatile circumstances, we are making adjustments to our plans, including removing items that have been at the center of the most significant confrontational behavior. Our focus now is on moving forward with our continuing commitment to the LGBTQIA+ community and standing with them as we celebrate Pride Month and throughout the year," end quote. LGBTQIA+, I don't even know what some of those mean. Anyway, I forgot that Pride Month was even a thing until right now. We really don't need a month celebrating anyone's identity. Morgan Freeman said it best, of course, already.
Black History Month you find ridiculous. Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Apparently, this Pride collection at Target features designs from a controversial fashion designer named Eric Carnell. This trans designer allegedly has satanic imagery in their collections with items that say Satan respects pronouns or burn down the system. Although amidst this backlash, Eric Carnell's products have seen a surge in sales as well from people supporting the clothing brand. So clearly, as of right now anyway, Target is in the middle of a massive culture war. Who will win? I don't know, but I expect things to get spicy as time moves on. All of this nonsense reminds me of the Bud Light controversy, which is currently going so poorly for Anheuser-Busch. They're at a $18.8 billion loss as of right now. Their shares have dropped roughly 14% since that controversy happened, and it's gotten so bad that stores are practically trying to give Bud Light away for free due to excess stock. And of course, not to be outdone, Miller Lite has also thrown their hat into the ring with their ad that denounces their audience as well. In case you haven't seen that ad, here, watch.
Here's a little known fact. Women were among the very first to brew beer ever. From Mesopotamia to the Middle Ages to colonial America, women were the ones doing the brewing. Centuries later, how did the industry pay homage to the founding mothers of beer? They put us in bikinis. Wow. Look at this wild. It's time beer made it up to women. So today, Miller Lite is on a mission to clean up not just their but the whole beer industry's Miller Lite has been scouring the internet for all this and buying it back so that they can turn it into good for women brewers. Literally, good How, you ask? Ladies, take it away.
First, we turn the bad into compost. Then we feed compost to worms. Push out beautiful fertilizer.
That good helps farmers grow quality hops,
which is then donated to women brewers to make their own really good
But there's definitely more out there. In your attic, in the garage, in your parents' basement. Send any you got into Miller Lite, and they'll turn that into good too. Oh, so here's to women, because without us, there would be no beer.
And as you can imagine, this ad is going over about as well as you'd think with people, and we could very well be seeing another Bud Light level boycott. It's a little too early to tell, but I guess we'll see what happens with that one. Man, that's a lot of woke stuff failing, but next up I want to look at movies. Let's talk about Indiana Jones now and see how this might end up being Lucasfilm's biggest disaster yet. If you've paid any attention to Indy 5, you know the reviews are really bad for it. Not only that, but in classic modern Lucasfilm fashion, the new movie will yet again advertise itself with a classic male hero, only to sideline them for a strong female character. This has happened with Star Wars with Luke and Rey, it happened with Obi-Wan and Reva, it also happened with other Disney shows like Hawkeye with Hawkeye and Kate Bishop, or with Loki and Sylvie, or Ant-Man and his daughter, the list just keeps going. Anyway, the Kathleen Kennedy produced disaster has been getting torn apart by critics and the movie isn't even coming out for another month. Via an article from Bounding Into Comics, someone who allegedly saw the movie decided to spoil the entire thing to save us all our time and sanity. So before I go further, yes, I will be spoiling Indy 5 here, but I'll leave the timestamp on screen here so you know where to skip to in case you actually care about what's happening in this future disaster of a film. Still here? Alright. Well, to sum up the ending, so we're not here all day, basically the main villain, played by Mads Mikkelsen, attempts to use the Dial of Destiny to stop Hitler from invading Poland. This of course doesn't go to plan, and the Dial sends Indy and his goddaughter Helena and the bad guys to the Roman siege of Syracuse. A bunch of shenanigans happens amidst this time travel finale, and the bad guys lose and Indy and his goddaughter save the day. Before returning back to their time, Indy apparently refuses to return to his time because there's nothing waiting for him there. Apparently his marriage is in shambles, he has nothing to live for, and basically the way Indy is presented here is exactly how Harrison Ford's other Disney character, Han Solo, is shown as well. Disney's Kathleen Kennedy has found a way to make both of Harrison Ford's biggest roles get reduced to a bumbling absent father figure who is pathetic. Anyway, Indy wants to stay in the past. Helena then knocks him out and he wakes up back in his own time in his own bed, where his wife greets him and Indy and his wife apparently mend things and he's able to move on in life. The movie ends with Indy's hat sitting on a windowsill and someone grabs his hat and the movie ends. The ending heavily implies that Helena will become the new Indiana Jones, which doesn't make any sense since Indiana Jones is not a mantle you can inherit like Batman. Indiana Jones is literally his name. Helena grabbing his hat doesn't suddenly make her into the next Indy. That would be like if I gave you my underwear and you put it on and now you're Endymion. That's not how that works, but Disney clearly doesn't care. And they just want to replace every classic male hero with a better and stronger female counterpart for ESG reasons. Also, apparently the original ending before this reshot ending was finalized had Indy being shot and he dies after falling out of the airplane during the final sequence. And Helena just inherits his mantle while Indy's pathetic, lifeless corpse lays dead amidst the wreckage. Which is honestly kind of fitting considering how much of a disaster this film was to begin with. Regardless, this movie never needed to be made and is going to likely be another massive Disney failure for the company, since it's yet another bait and switch from Disney that pisses on fans' faces while expecting them to smile and love every second of it. The movie is also the most expensive film Lucasfilm has ever made, even beating out Star Wars. And it needs to make roughly $800 million plus to be profitable, which I say good luck because I don't think it's going to happen. Anyway, that's the nonsense surrounding Indiana Jones 5, and as you can see, the future of that franchise is about as bright as my own butthole. Anyway, to end this video, let's quickly look at The Little Mermaid, which will be out as of the release of this video. Currently, it's on track to make less than Ant-Man 3, which, by the way, was a massive box office failure for Disney. The movie, as of now, is predicted to bring in around $180 million in its opening weekend, which sounds like a lot, but when compared to previous Disney movies like the Lion King remake, it's bad. By the way, The Lion King in its opening weekend made $460.7 million. So yeah, $180 million is not exactly a glowing beacon of hope for Disney when compared to that. And when compared to other films that have opened during previous Memorial Day weekends like Top Gun Maverick or Pirates at World's End, this puts The Little Mermaid not even in the top 20 for Memorial Day box offices in comparison. So yeah, it's not looking good for Disney. But if you heard even a snippet of one of the new songs for The Little Mermaid, it's no surprise that people won't be rushing to the theater to watch it.
Remember the swab? Leave me alone! Remember my song in the swab when I was like, chicka wah, chicka wah.
Yeah, that was awful. Sorry you had to hear that. Jesus Christ, what the hell. Anyway, as you can see from these latest examples, woke media is definitely failing and slowly dying as time goes on. The culture war will continue, of course, but it's very evident that the continued efforts of the common people is making these corporations writhe in pain as they lose billions. So I hope this video has brightened your day, and if you like what you've seen, consider subscribing and liking the video to help me out. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.